Chesapeake Connects is a major infrastructure project in the city of Chesapeake. It represents 175 miles of broadband fiber that will be built throughout the city and will be complete in 2025.
So it's very clear that the world of work is rapidly changing. So it is important that abundant bandwidth and easily accessible to broadband infrastructure is just key to supporting this ever-changing workforce.
We spent time getting all of our students a device, a Chromebook that they have in their hands from pre-K all the way through 12th grade. We also have purchased over 3,000 hotspots for our students, especially during the pandemic. Access was so important, but one of the challenges that we had was we handed them a hotspot and they still had no access, as we've talked about earlier. And this is going to open those opportunities, because if you don't have access to those great resources, then you're missing out. So this could be the great equalizer for all of our students and families in our great community.
I think of this very much like a highway system. So we're providing a backbone network that will provide infrastructure and resources for the private sector to unleash its full potential, particularly in places that are underserved here in Chesapeake and in the region. We have a tremendous amount of opportunity, and this is the 21st century infrastructure that's going to take us from a great place to an exceptional place.
We're here to support our community, provide safe place for the kids to come and play. Even in this room, this is our game room. We have ping pong, we have board games, all kind of games, you know. We have PlayStation, so it's a safe place to come and play and have a good time. So once you're a member at one community center, you're a member of all community centers. We have 8 community centers in the city of Chesapeake. We try to be uniform in our community centers, where we're offering the base, the foundation of our programs can be found at all of them. But then each center has individualized things that maybe that community has asked to take place. Here we have Seniors in Motion. We have dance classes here, karate classes. So whatever the community is asking, we try to have instructional programs placed there. Benefits of getting a Chesapeake membership: opportunity to come in and use the facility in a gymnasium where you can play all kind of different sports, from volleyball to basketball to, let's see, even 16 laps in a gym is a mile. So if you can't go outside, you know, due to weather or whatever confinements you have, you can come to the gym and get your exercise. We have people on their lunch break come over and walk, get exercise. We have a fitness room. We have the best price ever for membership. It's $10 a year for the kids and $35 for adults. Seniors are free.
So you have these because this month in September, we will be celebrating Library Card Sign-Up Month, which is a national effort with the American Library Association to get library cards in the hands of children. It happens in September because it coincides with school starting. And so we thought it would be nice to show you the different kinds of library cards that Chesapeake Public Library has had throughout the years, and let you know that all of the children in Chesapeake Public Schools have an account with the Chesapeake Public Library for free.
That is really exciting and a great point, because we're one of the few libraries in our area that does that. So we provide all Chesapeake Public School students free library cards, and they're not physical cards, so they're not like this.
No.
They're attached to their student ID number, that number they have to memorize in kindergarten.
Yes.
So I love it when people come into the library and they find stuff they want, and then they go, oh man, I forgot my library card, and they've got a student with it. I'm like, you've got a library card. And a lot of times they didn't even know that, but they can access all of our resources too.
They really can, and when they don't know it, a lot of our staff will just say, "Do you remember your lunch number?" And then they know it right off the top of their head. And it's a great experience seeing them be able to check out items that they didn't think that they would be able to check out because they didn't have a library card. And so that's all they have to do is come in and put in their lunch number.
Yes, and they'll call it. You do require a PIN number.
Yes.
But we made that easy to remember too. It's the first 2 digits of the month and day of your birth.
Yes.
So if you were born on October 27th, it will be 1027.
Correct. And if you were born in May, because it could be difficult to remember, it's a 05. So make sure you put that 0 in there.
And that gives them access to our physical resources, but also they can access all of our digital resources from home too.
Yes, and our digital resources are available on the website, and they just, they just need their library card account information, and that would be their student ID and their lunch number. But also, we wanted to highlight that in September, when we launched Library Card Sign Up Month, that we are also launching our I Designed a Library Card contest, which we have done for 3 years. And we have several winners that have made it through the contest throughout the years. And this year it'll run from September 1st through October 31st. And applications will be available for everybody at any Chesapeake Public Library as well as on the website. And you know, we hope to have a lot of entries. We've had almost 300 last year, and in the past, a total of over 500 applicants. So we're excited to start that again in September.
It's not a bad job. It's a really good job, and I love it. The flexibility really is the main key thing for me. Like I said, I can be with my kids. They're off on the days that they're off. I'm able to be off with them. This is my 5th school year, and I became a driver. My husband's self-employed, and I'm a stay-at-home mom. So we needed the benefits, and the benefits was really the key for me, and time where I could still be a mom and work at the same time and get retirement, have insurance, and just be able to have off when my kids are off was my prime reason of becoming a driver. Good morning, Landon. In my morning routine, once I get to the bus, I get there about 6:45. I do my pre-trip, which is just going through and making sure that the bus is secure and the fluids are all intact and everything. That's our Zonar, which we sign into that every morning. We log in and we punch in, so they are able to track our time and to make sure that instead of writing down our pre-trips, we scan the Zonar tabs on our side of our buses. So they know that, you know, we've pre-tripped our entire bus for safety reasons and such, and so and then it just keeps a running record of our time and our pre-trips.
To me, she's a right combination of someone who is compassionate and fair with her students, which you would expect for someone who's a mom of children of a similar age, and she also does a really good job of maintaining a safe and orderly environment on the bus, which is for the benefit of the children.
Good morning, Grayson. Good morning, Sophia. Good morning, Victoria. Good morning, Jeremy. I would say the most challenging thing is when drivers don't maybe come to work and we're having to cover. There's lots of people trying to cover runs because we still, even if we're shorthanded, we still have to operate and we still have to get those children to schools.
Good morning, Ayla. Oh, thank you so much. Good morning, Nick.
I have the privilege of working with Ms. Gaskin. I am her supervisor. She is one of my go-to drivers. If I have a question as to what neighborhoods would work best with a particular bus as far as we need extra coverage, she's the person I can really rely on to assist me with getting the children moved to and from school safely. If the bus driver does not do their job, then it would be very difficult for the teachers to do theirs.
Sometimes it can be very stressful because you have traffic. People like to run our stop signs, and we're having to pay attention to the outside of the bus. We're having to pay attention to the inside of the bus.
Hey, Mercedes, can you please not do that? Thank you.
And we're trying to juggle not only our own children, but we're having to juggle other people's runs also on top of that. My advice to any new drivers would be to be patient and to be flexible. Couple first months are really the most challenging parts because you're trying to find your way of being comfortable in that position. You're trying to learn so many different things other than just driving. But once you get into it, it really does settle itself out and it becomes very comfortable, and it's not as stressful once you get yourself in your own comfortable place.
Good morning. Good morning, Riley. Good morning, Mercedes. Good morning, Jasmine. Good morning, Scotty. Good morning, Brady. If they're in your seats, just find another seat, okay?
It's a great job because you have time during the day to do the things that you need to do, and you can still work and get a paycheck and get your benefits and get, you know, your retirement and everything. So it's all well worth it's very well worth it to me to do all of that.
What should we be doing all year round to get ready for that inevitable emergency, whatever it might be?
The planning phase, we want people to look at their family plans, especially if you have kids. You have kids, I have kids.
Yes.
You know, if the kids are in school, are they not in school? Where are they? If your spouse, where are they? So if there's going to be an incident that occurs, how are you going to get together? We could get flooding. So flooding, I think a lot of people associate flooding with hurricanes only, but we're in Virginia.
Yes.
We're in coastal Virginia, and we get rain year-round. Nor'easters bring a lot of water and a lot of flooding. So really in that planning phase, you want to think of those things ahead of time. What would you do? What would your plan be? If you did have to evacuate, where are you going to go? So just start thinking of those things ahead of time. That's easy, right?
Okay.
Virginia has Know Your Zones. You can look it up. It's super easy on Google. Type in your address, and it's going to tell you exactly what zone you're in. All that means is if there's an evacuation or any kind of order, you need to leave that zone. And sometimes it's just finding a friend in another neighborhood. It's not always leaving Chesapeake.
That I think that sort of shift in thinking that like, hey, you don't have to totally, because a lot of people think like, well, I don't know anybody in Richmond. I don't know anyone, you know, outside of state, but I know someone who lives over in what happens to be Zone D. But again, let me make those plans ahead of time, right? Like you don't want to be calling them when the flood waters are up to your knees.
No.
Okay, so we're going to check our evacuation zone at Know Your Zone VA. What other kind of things do we have to prepare ahead of time to make sure that we have?
Great if you can have a preparedness kit.
Yeah.
I know that's a challenge for a lot of families, but sometimes just printing out what that list is. Ready.gov has some great material on there. If you just print out what should go in a preparedness plan, or excuse me, a preparedness kit, then a lot of the items you may have in your house, you don't have to go buy them.